Apparently, I am biased towards Sega games. I wonder why a person named Sega Saturn Reviews would be biased towards Sega games. So to prove I am not a biased person, I will be reviewing an N64 game this time. I decided that game will be Mischief Makers. It's a 2D game, but on the N64 of all things. This will be a shorter review because the Knights review is also being made at the same time, and I want to put more focus on that review. I don't think I can make two full-length videos at the same time. You're expecting too much of me. The story is that an evil emperor that looks like that thing from 2001: A Space Odyssey kidnaps a professor multiple times and wants to take over the universe. Very unique plans he has. The game is set on a planet where everything looks like it's in pain. Everything is screaming, even the floors. The game is always a bit unsettling because of that, but I can get over that. You play as the professor's robot called Marnie. I cannot pronounce that for the life of me. I'll just show text on screen because I'm lazy. I'm not doing another take on this. I really do not care. I just don't care about this. And you go save your professor. This game is just so insane, and its comedy is basically just a 90s anime on crack. I will cover the game world by world because there are too many levels to get into a reasonable time. I have made a 30-minute video before and it was not fun and it was not good. Now, let's get onto the gameplay. You play as a robotic maid with rockets. You can jump, grab, throw, and shake. The game uses some 3D elements, but mostly uses pre-rendered sprites. The basic controls are so good, it takes advantage of everything on the N64 controller instead of being hindered by it. They worked with the limitations they had and got around them, and I can appreciate that. The first world is a tutorial to get you used to the game, and it's really good. The tutorials are optional, and that's something most games sadly don't do. The cutscenes can also be skipped, and that's wonderful. I can't believe I'm complimenting a game for doing the bare minimum, but that's how bad things have gotten. The first world is like a playground, so you get used to the three main mechanics: shaking, grabbing, and throwing. Though there is a slight cooldown when jumping and using rockets, but it's genuinely fun. Now let's get on to World 2. World 2 is a lawful world, but that doesn't mean it isn't creative. Almost every level is different and is more difficult compared to World 1. It is really fun. One level you may be running on exploding platforms, and another you may be swinging on people like vines. The amount of things done with such a small budget is crazy. Then we get to a boss, which tests your thinking and tests your abilities up to that point. And not only that, this is such a well animated 2D sprite. It's so fluid for any game. It looks straight out of a cartoon. And it's basically a game of stop hitting yourself, and I love it. It takes advantage of what you learned in the previous world and improves upon it. I cannot underestimate the amount of fun, and it's just fun controlling the game itself. They didn't have to go this hard on design and all that. This is the only game that feels like it truly took advantage of the three-pronged abomination controller. World 3 is a snow world. One level, you're meant to solve puzzles that require you to think outside the box, and then later, you are straight up doing Olympic Games. This is quite possibly the most variety you could ask for out of a game, and the boss of World 3 is so insane. It's you riding a cat that you played volleyball? I forgot what you played with it. And while riding that cat, you can ride a missile. Then you can shake another missile that you can catch to make it grow larger and throw it at the guy. Then the next phase, you grab a gun and just start shooting him. This is crazy. It is a little difficult and can be frustrating, but you can get over that. Also, there's a level where you surf on a giant intercontinental ballistic missile. World 4 starts with an Indiana Jones rock chase and keeps on going with a mission about catching ghosts, like straight out of Ghostbusters. Never before have I seen such a varied game where all the different things are fleshed out and feel good, and are all well thought out. Never before have I had to think so much about the little details in games. World 3 tests your speed with exploding platformers like World 2, but this time, it's just straight up, you ride a trike on it. It's a trike race. You're racing against time. It's crazy. And for 2 levels, you play as a different character with a different playstyle, and the boss was awesome. You literally pull the rules of nature and slam the mech on top of the boss. It's just so fun to pull off. It's crazy that each level in this game is so good. World 5 was so good, but a little short. The first level was cool and reminded me of a beat 'em up game, with you going from section to section. And then you ride a bumblebee, and then you do a puzzle. World 5 keeps up the good work and is insanity, despite being shorter. The bosses this time were kinda cool. The bird guy fight is fun, but janky, and can be unfair. Then the Emperor's fight is easy. You shake an idea, make it good, and throw it at him. That's just crazy. Like, genuinely crazy, just throwing ideas at someone. But it is a step down in difficulty from the bird guy. But then the 3 main bosses form a Megazord, and you lift it up with no effort, and rules of nature it, and then you chuck its own missile at it to damage it. This was a worthy final boss to this insane game. This game took advantage of its main mechanics very well, while incorporating a ton of gimmicks into the mix, and making it one complete package. Then the credits roll. You can get a true ending by 100% of the game, but it doesn't matter to me. What mattered was the joy of playing the game. The music. Oh, yeah, I forgot the music. The music was good but repetitive due to the N64's low storage, but I loved how unique each track was. I have not heard something like that in a while. It's pure N64 goodness. It may have had issues of being too vague, but overall, it has become my favorite N64 game despite the issues. This is truly one of my favorite games, and I love this game. So why don't you go show it some love? It's truly a game of all time. I lied. There's an annoying thing with lips that makes this game a 0 out of 10. Too much water. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this game has bosses in the middle of worlds too. They were so forgettable, I forgot to mention them. They're so cute. They're so weak. They're little baby things. They're little baby things that you kill so easily.